I just want whoever gives the thumbs down to own it. I love it. I think it's hysterical. Thank you guys. Just gives me a laugh. Hey, Vaughn. I do see this as a ruse, definitely played by all the terror groups calling themselves protesters. Yes, it is. Hey, Vaughn, I don't know if you know this. I tried to comment in your stream the other day. Yesterday. You were doing a stream about, I don't know, that imbecile. And I had something to throw at you, but you couldn't see it. Let's just say that. You couldn't see my comment. So I don't know if you're aware of that. But I had a good tidbit for you. I was going to chime in, but I realized you weren't seeing it. So anyway, hey, welcome, everybody. It's it's the second day of Trump Day, right? Anyway, they're melting down. Let's see if I can throw this up there because this is great. Why did it open there? That's weird. I guess you can throw photos into a web browser and it pops up. Let me see if I do this. This was unbelievable. Abolition Andy. Andy's a terrorist, by the way, in LA. One of my longtime protest pals, I guess you could call it, says if you protest in LA, do not get arrested. Gascon lost. There are no free passes. Did they have free passes? I was asked by somebody who sent me this. It always seemed as though they were given these free passes, but this person's acknowledging they are a local anti-fascist protester, and they are absolutely acknowledging that there is some sort of free pass or was a free pass in the past. I forgot to turn on one of my displays here. Watch, this can be a problem now. Let's make sure that doesn't change. Uh-oh. Oh, there it goes. It fixed itself. For a second there, I thought I was in trouble. So, we're in a new Los Angeles. Well, apparently Portland is a new place as well, because they saw protests last night before, and the police cracked down on it very quickly, made several arrests, reported by the Post-Millennial. Andy No doing a great job over there, showing the outrage over Trump winning the election. Most arrests of protesters in Los Angeles were awful anyway, Mega Million says. Most arrests of protesters in Los Angeles were unlawful and whoa. Mega Million. How do you make that claim with a straight face? What's going on here? So all the Hollywood stars who said they were leaving the country if Trump wins has one single star back. I don't know. They have not announced their exit yet. We love when people announce their exit, right? I have not seen one of those celebrities announce their exit. I think they kind of have short-term memory loss. Eric the Mechanic is back around. But I'm still waiting on Mega to help us all, learn us, Mega. How was it unlawful what they were doing? Because whoever you are, we're going to look at some of those things. I found a really great video in the strangest of all places, and we're going to play it here in a little bit. But you guys ready to see something funny? Because I stumbled on this. Turned out my computer was getting a little full, and that's why my photos and things weren't uploading and syncing and doing their things. And as I was going through and cleaning out, I found a real gem. Check this out. Check this out. This is it's what would you call this? This is hate on hate crime, maybe. This is going to be the worst versus the worst. It's like spy versus spy, but both the spies are the evil black spy, right? Wasn't it the black spy that was the troublemaker? And then it's like the old white hat cowboy versus the black hat cowboy. All the old classic cowboy movies, the good guys wore the white hats, right? The John Waynes, the good guys always had the white cowboy hats, and all the bad guys, the outlaws, the trouble, they all wore the dark hats. Well, here's a little dark hat on dark hat crime. You ready? Let's see if you recognize the players before I tell you. Let's see.
Bed sheets, Jessica. Yeah. Congratulations. Congratulations. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Do you guys recognize all these people? Protesters. Here, we keep watching. This is good. This is classic. This is like an old timey movie right here. Let's see. I hate when leftists attack each other. Hi, Mina. How are you?
Those people don't want to be filmed.
And Jessica, she says, those people don't want to be filmed. They don't want to be filmed. They're out in public, first and foremost. So this person here is the one who tells Scott who he can and cannot record and show on stream in public. So as much as Scott wants to be transparent in his protesting, he does what Mina says. But Mina's one of those people that doesn't think that that is correct, Boxer Heather. You have nailed it. It is Jessica, aka Whistle Girl, and Mina, the mean girl, sticker chick, all of those wonderful things, which is funny because Vaughn Michelle's here and Vaughn has had to deal with this person, this duck, the duck mask wearing Mina out in the sun. She's the chairman of Antifa on C. Yes, she is. That is exactly who she is. There, we keep watching. This is fun. This is a good warm-up. This is a really good warm-up.
I actually slapped my 16-year-old son, who's been arrested multiple times.
I don't know what this protest was, but I'm sure it was some conservative event in D.C. You're never good enough for leftists, by the way.
Don't you think if the government paid for it, I wouldn't get sued by my land? Where are your kids? How are you able to spend this money? Because they don't like me. I don't need psychotic.
Don't trust her. She's wearing the smiley faces, but don't trust her. She doesn't really mean it. It's a ruse. It's a distraction. It's not a true thing. Why are people Oh, MAGA Mandy. This is actually a blast from the past. This is quite an old video here. This is not today. However, I think she may still wear a mask. I don't know. Actually, she does. I think she was wearing a mask the last time she was at the J6 corner. No, Patricia, this is old. This is like from the archives, the WYSIWYG archives, that I was sent a long time ago. But she is soulless. She is. She is. She's not the most vile of the DC protesters, but the mouth moves faster than the brain. And you know, I think she shows up in the chat. I'm sure she sounds like one of the, you know, anonymous accounts that comes in here, and she's admitted on her Twitter Spaces that she definitely has a lot of sock accounts. They'll delete themselves via oxygen deprivation. It's possible. It's totally possible. You get enough moisture in that thing. But yeah, this is from, I don't even know when this is from. I don't honestly remember, but it's at least a year or two old, because, well, let's see. I know that this video is from after Mina got, or pardon me, Jessica got arrested, and she yelled to Mina and doxed herself on, I think it was AP's live stream. I think AP was the streamer at the time, or no, it was like, maybe it was a news camera. I was watching some stream, but so that happened. And then this is, there's another one of those thumbs down. Love it. Please own it. Will you, in the chat? Troy misses these hot babes. Rat sass. Are you Mina or Jessica? I'm not sure which one you are. So I know that none of their accounts are banned or blocked in this chat, so they're more than welcome to chime in. But walnuts are yummy. But this was, I believe, right after that, because the two girls were upset about the fact that the live stream picked up Jessica's name. But Jessica got arrested for assaulting conservatives, whatever she was doing, I forgot. I'm sure there's video of it someplace. But she was being Jessica. She was being herself, and doesn't believe in anybody else having the right to their First Amendment. And so she tried to shut them down and ended up getting arrested. She finally like pushed it so far that she got arrested. But this has to be at least a couple years old. Probably use some sort of, you know, it's after 1776, because that's when she started streaming. So, you know, sometime after 76 ended. I don't even remember when 76 ended. But basically, yeah, that's it. So here
We used to be friends. And they're like super and I talk for so they're like black bloc and they do this shit. So there's new president because I have live stream.
can you guys hear the audio okay?
So they talk a lot of shit. Just now. This racist bitch? I know. Oh, God, get your black voice on. Get your black voice on. Yeah. You probably sorry.
Might have to turn this up a little bit.
Oh, hold on, you're not using the black voice on. They're here to protest, you know, Nazis or whatever.
What is she talking about?
So when she's talking the way I talk. You know, like, anyway, I thought you were...
I think that's Jessica's voice. Is she being racist? Is that what she's doing? It could be. It was either Mina or her. I can't tell. The signs are in front of their faces. But it sounded like they were being a little racist there towards AP.
Here to protest Nazis, but this is what I'm using the black voice. This is the way I talk, Mina. No, you talk to black people. Fucking embarrassing.
The audio is doubled like yesterday. Oh. All right. I fixed it. It should be fixed.
Actually, this is
you're not going to save DC because you're not from DC.
How about that? Catch me outside. How about that? Catch me outside. How about that? Did you like that?
What was,
Did you
what
watch
was that
Dr.
just
Phil,
popped up
Jessica?
there? Is that somebody's screen recording? Oh, wait. I lost my controls. Let's go back 30 seconds.
Do you watch Dr. This is the way I talk, Nina.
No, you talk
Is that
to
the way I
you talk
talk?
to black people. Look at embarrassing.
Actually, this is
You're not going to save DC
I'm-
because you're not from DC.
How about that? Catch me outside. How about that? Catch me outside. How about that?
What the
Do you
hell
like
did that
that?
say?
Did you watch Dr. Phil, Jessica?
I didn't catch it again.
Dr. Phil, Jessica? Do you watch Dr. Phil,
I
Jessica?
gotta be ready for the pause.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what she does. She talks in a different tone.
I wonder if Nadine would like this.
She knows that you're talking. She knows.
Nadine, she's another one of the protesters.
I see her a lot. That's not
Okay, do you want to talk to Nadine right now?
cool. Yeah, show her what you're doing right now.
Oh, she'd love it. She would love it.
bet.
She was like, why does she keep on hitting me out?
Troy. It's too funny. I'm really having troubles with these damn, and I'm not sure, there's no consistency in them. You know what I mean? Like, they're all over the place. And maybe it works that way too, but it's from the first day.
Women, please our children! She says the only reason she says please our children!
I bet Nina.
They're just slinging back and forth at each other, which is hysterical. I know there's something good in here. Oh, wait. So AP just ripped her sign away from her. That's funny because, like, I don't know. I kind of remember, maybe you guys can help me out. I kind of remember that AP doesn't like when people do that to her. I guess ever since this, you know, maybe that's where she gets it from. I don't know. I just remember, like, something. AP doesn't like it when she doesn't have the ability to, I don't know, something like this. That was an interesting little tidbit there.
Get your sign out of my face. This is actually assault right now. So go ahead.
Says the woman who loves to push signs in people's faces. I forgot how good this was. Honestly,
Send it. Some information.
she does have a distinctive voice, does she not?
Send it.
ACB says that's assault. More assault. They're just assaulting each other.
Send it.
Howdy,
You're
LL.
assaulting me. Back up. You're attacking me. Back up. Jessica,
When
back
women
up.
assault
You're
each
in
other.
my space. You're attacking me.
On WYSIWYG TV.
Back up. Back up. I know. I'm going to kick you because you're in my space.
Why don't you just leave?
Wow.
I'm happy.
Those numbers
I
keep
actually
going
came
up,
here to
don't
do
they?
something, and this is what you guys do: is child immature shit.
What are you here to do?
This is what you do. I was filming this.
That's
because
right.
you knew.
Thank you very much for pointing that out, Dr.
I
Heather.
was actually just filming.
Nice
it.
assist on that one.
Cash at me, hoes. Send me $5 that says "fuck me" on "fuck Jessica, girl." $5, Jessica. Maybe 50.
You notice what the sign says: racist, sexist, anti-gay. These three women have done all of that in this video. If I, right, Bill? I'm sure they all voted for Harris, and I'm sure they're all having a really, really hard time right now, as all of them are, as they've been trying to deal with what's going on.
$5 $100, I'll say their last name. I'll say Mina's government husband's name too.
My husband doesn't work for the
Yeah.
government.
Yeah.
At least we got husband, bitch. You ain't got nothing.
Oh, I actually still have a husband. I'm not divorced
It's
yet.
funny. So it's easy to tell people's tells when you know that they're lying as fact, right? And that's what I found interesting about this clip at one point in time. I'm remembering that. LOL, Jessica, I would not buy that for $1. Troy, this is Anarchy Princess. This is Anarchy Princess's video when these two apparently approached her. So she had one of those moments where these two life-size real trolls came up to her and tried to shut her down. That's what we're watching. This is sort of a warm up to some of the other protest stuff that we're going to talk about.
Yeah. No, actually, because I like you.
I know you consider.
Yeah. Remember when you were drunk and you couldn't take care of your dog for years, Mina, and you tried to kill yourself? Did you tell Jessica that?
Oh, that's awful.
She didn't tell you.
That's awful.
Like you did when you went to Miami.
I'm so glad that you put people down and tried to kill
They're
them.
throwing verbal punches at each other. And honestly, at this point, I cannot tell who's winning.
For mental illness and the homeless.
Wow, that's awful.
Yeah.
That's
thank
awful.
you. Why would you mention it?
Was she trying to throw the L? Is that what that was?
First of all,
Beats our children.
but you know what? Here's the thing: all you want, girl. I
Look at these poor kids walking by in the background.
don't care. This is content. This is way more fun than that was. This is way more fun. Thank you, Mina. It was really boring. I almost left because it was boring, and now the content is here.
This is just Mean Girl stuff right here. Mean Girl on Mean Girl
Your friends gave them
violence.
to me because your friends like me more than you, Mina.
No, Troy, Baldy was off doing other things with other people
What was that one? I had like
in
a
his
fairy
life
or something.
at this point. The Baldy thing's only new for, like the last little bit.
Good thing I have hearing problems. I can't hear straight anyway.
It's the half that's bad that is the problem. Because, the soul, a person's soul comes up and comes out, especially through the eyes. And it takes a lot of work to fix that. And it's not, it doesn't matter how pretty someone is. If they're internally evil and oh, I don't know. That's funny, Ren. Internally evil, that's what shows through. Yeah, no, this is actually a year or two, probably close to about 2 years old. I don't have a date on it. Maybe I can tell you when I got it. Let me see if that will give us any indication. I'll look at it while we're watching this here. I'll see if I can find it. Oh, she's got cowbell.
Sending me money. Thank you for the money.
That was the other thing. The cowbell replaced the whistle, Gra. Now you got to make a line of cowbells.
Look at all the
And the-
views that are watching
shit.
you.
And the funny thing is AP just went out and harassed like somebody in Pennsylvania, some Trump thing in Pennsylvania. And she had a cowbell. She had hers. Hers had a stick to hold on to. So it was kind of like, hey, it was an impressive cowbell, painted white and had some, like hate on it. But so Ren's saying fall of 22. That sounds about right. Feels like, probably about 2 years ago, right? Susan Knox, very helpful. Wow. I appreciate that, Susan. Way to come in with something of, yeah, wow. You've blown me away, Susan. Susan, have you become red-pilled? I'm curious because what's her name? Cunning Stunt appears to have been red pilled. I know, Bill. You can't think of it that way though. This is supposed to be sort of an appetizer, right? It doesn't taste bad. It should be enjoyable. It should be enjoyable to see, the hate directed in the right direction by, the same team, right? Fighting over the end zone. So maybe that'll help sort of redirect what you're feeling. We can get away from that. Cutting always was interesting. See, I don't know. I just saw some random post pop up that I was really kind of blown away that it was coming from her, but I don't know what Cunning's problem was. Now I'm really curious. So let's see here.
New subscribers. Check it out. That's Nina. I have my whistle.
Do you think Nina plays in a cowboy band?
You know what? This doesn't work on me. This is what I do report too. Your account, actually.
It doesn't work on me. There, Raw, there's your whistle. There's your whistle.
Asian band, that's fine. Go for it.
I think AP might actually be
Go
deaf.
ahead. Go record it. I don't care. I'll be back, honey. I don't care. Why would you be back here? You don't live here. I mean on the internet. Remember I got kicked out? I'm homeless now. Where do I live now, Nina? You don't know. Where you live. Exactly. Do I live in D.C.?
AP with the challenging questions.
Oh my God. You own this city. You guys are so amazing.
They think they own. They have the cowbell to the city. They don't have the key, just the cowbell.
Yeah, they're psychopaths. They're psychopaths.
Oh, that's too good. That is too good.
Okay.
That is way too good.
I wish you would. I wish you would. I wish you would. Guess what? I wish you would. I wish you would.
I'll tell you this, Bill. If this video is bothering you, wait until you see what the next one is. I feel like the next one might just sort of
Are you gonna?
really
You are
kind of get to people a little bit, because it is a real trip down memory lane. It is going to be, I don't know how exciting it's going to be, but I sat and watched this last night. And let me pull up. I did not have this prepped and ready to go, but let's see here. Do, 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 do. Okay. Live. Okay, here it is. Here it is. Okay. Okay. So for some reason I lost my iPad. Why did I do that? Oh, wait, there it is. It's working. So this is from this wonderful channel, which is live right now. We're not going to look at that. But this video is from 6 months ago. And you guys ready for this? This is really interesting. So the title of the video is called Police Brutality. It's a half-truth. Some of you know that Troll Central was in the chat yesterday. And Yeah, well, let's watch this because this is interesting. And any who wish to profit himself alone from the knowledge given him, rather than serve others through the knowledge he has gained from learning, is betraying knowledge and rendering it worthless. Like, strange quote, but it's going to take a little bit. Let me fast forward here to, let's go. Come on. They must have had a lot of chat time. Okay. So this is going to be the video here.
She's sitting right there and they're fucking macing her in the face.
Hello? Yeah.
So to give you context, something to keep in mind about these videos. Most of these videos come from protest streams from sometime between 2018, 2017, in around there. This is when I first sort of thought about getting a camera and going out on the street, doing live streams, was because of these types of events and what we were seeing and what was being shown, what was being reported. Bill, I can't agree with you more. Actually, I disagree with you because I don't like the fact that it gets dark early, but I do start working very early in the morning, and it is nice that the sun comes up sooner because I was working for several hours in the dark, and honestly, it's a little more dangerous working in the dark. So yeah, there's that. So it depends. It depends on where you're coming from with the, yeah, it's weird that it's dark at 5:30 in the afternoon here where I'm at in Maryland, but yeah. So these protests were going on, and you had this narrative being pushed by the very same people that have been lying to you, pushing false narratives. Democrat Party, we know, and I'm saying this to make sure that you all understand that, like, I do understand a lot of these protesters, they are anarchists. So they don't vote Trump. They don't vote Democrat, Republic. They may end up making some, but they make it clear that they are anarchists. They don't care who's president. They're going to protest. Troy, do they put the bells on the horses? Here they're grazing. Well, it's just to find them. That's funny. Montana native. That is really interesting. I think bells on animals are helpful sometimes. I've seen people do that with kids too, which I find really weird, but I get it. They can't sneak up on you. Yeah, I don't work construction though, bro. That's the funny. Well, do I? No, I don't. All right, Susan. The trolls don't like me and never did because I'm not angry and I'm reasonable. See, you've changed a little something, Susan. I remember you being very different, but I like it. I appreciate that. It's nice to see a more reasonable, balanced tone from Susan. That's good. So that's what these protests are. So these are all coming from what we would call a RUPAR, right? It's a sectional clip that clips out all context of what's going on. The person showing this video, the person that's posted this video, and that includes Troll Central for pushing a narrative. And so that's what you're seeing is their version. What they're saying is happening. Leaves out all the context of what led up to these moments.
The
What the fuck?
You're good?
Macing her in the face.
Sitting there.
They're macing fucking innocent people right now.
These are protesters.
She's sitting right there and they're fucking macing her in the
this
face.
specifically says
Hello?
George Floyd protests of
You're a
2020.
fucking pussy!
What the fuck?
Turn that down. It's a little loud. We don't need it. We don't need to hear the protesters that loud.
Well, you never know. You never know what a man with the trumpet's capable.
The famous trumpet player. The trumpet player, right? So the trumpet player goes out there. Violent protests have erupted across the country. I don't know whether this is Portland. I think this was Portland. You know, it's always the police fault. Remember that, because we're going to get to another side note. Sometimes reasonable men must do unreasonable things. Yeah, I get it. And I guess sort of what Party says is interesting, because you're right. However, the part that sort of gets me, I think this is from Portland, if I remember correctly. This is the famous corner that they were protesting on near around the federal courthouse. And I forget who would have shot this video, but I believe like this is from that spot. And I think there's a couple others too. There's this one particular guy. You'll see him at the end, I think. Is if you're going to challenge authority, one would say that you then have to be willing to deal with the consequences of that authority. Right? Is that fair to say? So these people know that the police are out there to shut down this protest that's turned violent. And so that's what they're doing. And this person says, oh, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my trumpet and go against what the police have stated as far as, you know, this is a what do they call it? Once it's turned into a riot, they tell you to get the fuck out of there, and they shut it down. So this person's gone in and he's going to, you know, try to play his trumpet with his back to the police, and he's going to find out.
But guys, so threatening.
Oh, he's so threatening playing his, it's not that he's playing his trumpet. He's been told, everyone's been told, get out of the area. You will be arrested. Disperse. Protest over.
Fucking pigs!
See? Now it's the cops' fault.
We had set up a
This
medical
is interesting.
center
Listen to the justification here.
so that anyone protesting would be safe. We were not protesting. We were not agitating.
What she means to say is anyone who's being violent and attacking police officers and attacking people on the street who disagree with them is, you know.
We had claimed that space. We had set up
They
a
claimed the
triage area
space.
in case of any injuries.
Public property. They claimed it.
We had
So
eye wash,
the police can't push them
sutures,
out after they've
EMTs,
become, you know,
doctors,
violent, right?
EMS workers. They came in full riot gear, hit us with shields, threw several people to the ground. We were grabbed, thrown, shouted at, screamed at, treated as criminals. No one resisted.
See how they cut that? So you could hear the police department over the loudspeaker. You've been asked to leave. Like, polite as can be, right? These protesters aren't polite. Here in this clip, this is from LA, right? Protests over George Floyd in custody, death, right? They are attacking this police car. So that is what you're seeing. I don't know if that guy had a gun or what, but you've got a lot of protests going on. Look at this guy. He's trying to smash out the window, but apparently it's the cops that are the bad guys, right? So this streamer, this person recording, is demanding to know the police officer's name. Their goal was to identify the police officers, harass their families, and get them fired. And that's what this streamer is trying to do. And you'll see this editing clips back and forth to this officer who's just standing there dealing with this person.
Where's your name tag, officer?
Like I said, we also have
We recognize these characters, don't we?
Where's your name tag?
More writing.
Are you? Shoot it! Fuck you! You shot a car with a pregnant woman in it! With fucking tear gas! Fuck you! I ain't going nowhere! Fucking bitches!
I'm really curious what led up to this, because I kind of feel like I remember seeing this, but I don't remember what got us to this point in this video. Police are telling this guy to move, and he was going to refuse. This is also during the riots. You see all the riot police back there. Now these are pepper balls, and that sucks. The pepper balls suck. And you'll notice what they do is they shoot the pepper balls at the car so that the pepper ball breaks and then the cloud fills the air, and that's an irritant, right? And I believe, I know this is in LA, but I'm not sure where it is. LA, they don't use any chemicals. Sheriff's Department in Los Angeles, they do. All right, I'll move. You got it. Here I go. I got it. Anybody recognize those officers?
You have no name tag, no badge number. Like what is that?
Like I said, we also have interim orders. We're getting orders from directly above. It's different.
You guys hear this? This guy says he has direct orders to take his name tag off.
They hate it when they don't identify themselves.
You go home! Fuck 12!
Nobody is. We're gonna see it put to an end very quickly. Vaughn, I'm convinced we are going to see anything like that put to an end very quickly. The protest that was in Chicago last night. What's going on today, Ant? The protest in Chicago last night, they were pretty good, right? I don't think there was any problems. Now, the protest that was in Portland, yeah, that was a little more trouble. Was it the Philly AG that said, fuck around and find out? He wasn't talking to left-wing demonstrators, though, I'm sure. Maybe he was. It's hard to say. But he made it very clear that if he was talking about election interference by possible poll watchers, but then, that was over. But we'll see, right? Like, it seems as though on social media there's accounts that are trying to drum up protests against Trump, and it'll be interesting to see how it all gets handled. At some point, the Democrats will say no. And if George Gascon got fired and lost that re-election bid because he's done such a fine job in Los Angeles, what's his name here? Anthony might be, Abolition Andy might be right. There's no free passes in LA anymore. I'm down with that. Shouldn't be any free passes at all. Right? No one's above the law. Isn't that what they say? Why, Bill? What are you talking about? What did I miss? Tomorrow night? Friday is a great night for protest, in my opinion. I think that would be a great time to go out there. Maybe I'll have to make a phone call or two and see what's going on. I certainly won't be out there, but why? Help me just for half a second. We'll come back to this. Why go out and protest in a state that turned blue, or that is blue, right? They don't support Donald Trump. So you're going to go out and you're going to fuck up your own Democrat city because you're mad at a Republican. How does that make sense? Does that make sense to anyone? Can somebody maybe please fill me in on how that works? You know? Because we literally watched that happen where they were protesting Trump, right? You know, they were protesting George Floyd's death that happened in another state, so they fucked up and destroyed theirs, right? How does that work? I notice we don't have the trolls in the chat. Mods aren't timing anybody out. Maybe one of them could chime in and sort of help a brother out. Help me understand that. Or is it because you know I'm right? Like, it's hard to justify. You know, can somebody tell me the last time MAGA destroyed their own city? Hell, MAGA didn't even destroy the Capitol. So somebody tell me and help me understand how that works, because it just doesn't seem smart. It doesn't seem like a good plan. We'll see. Let's go back and watch this.
Fuck you. I'm in my house. I'm in my house, pussy. Fuck you.
This was good.
I'm in my house.
This is just a straight fuck around and find out moment.
Fuck you, bitch.
Just create a little crowd. And you'll see coming up in a little bit, there's a clip from the Walls Historical Foundation where Walls Police Department. That's right there. That's right. Hope I try to be logical. I try to be logical. At least try to look at things from a reasonable aspect. We got to get through this so we can get to the other logical things that we want to talk about. We'll try to make it fast.
Hey!
Enough coffee.
You saw that shit?
I get it.
You saw that shit? Get back.
They fogged.
You saw that shit? They just fucking sprayed me.
Curfew hits and trouble cries to drive away accordingly. Again, if you're leaving, the police don't do this. Something about these two. I'm sure there's more to this story as well.
Guys, come to me right now. Come to me right now. Come to me right now.
Listen
Come to me right now.
Come to me right now. Come to me right now.
Come to me right now. This woman just got tased.
Yeah. They don't do that either for no reason. All these officers coming around here, there's a reason. But again, the RuPar in this video,
come to me right now.
You'll never know. Not from the person who's trying to create this narrative. He's refusing. He's absolutely refusing to get out of the car. He's refusing to hear the police officers, and then he gets the full treatment. They flattened him out in the front seat of the car. because they don't want to use violence to remove him, forcefully remove him, knowing that all the cameras are on him. So, do you think these officers are going to risk lawsuits and everything else? This is the time. This is not the time when they do like some shady shit when the cameras aren't on and they treat people, you know, with true, you know, contempt and harm, right? That shit happens when the cameras aren't on, when the body cams aren't rolling, right? I think you probably deserve it too, by the way. But moments like this, they are 100% by the book and in their right to do exactly what they're doing. And the only reason these protesters won any of these lawsuits that they've gone after the cities with is because my ex-cop chick loved to take me. Hey, what, Chud? What you do in the behind closed doors is completely up to you. Completely up to you. They're hitting the car. He's hitting the car there. They're hitting the car. But it's the cops' fault. It's the cops' fault. They got lights and sirens. Yep. And I think what you saw there is the cop actually opened up his door. See, these guys, they are masked up, right? And they are assaulting the vehicles as they go by, right? Fuck around and find out. And the cop saw what they did to the car in front, and the passenger popped the door open. You can't have it both ways, right? The innocent, the good, when bad things happen to them, they get justice. When you're a criminal and you do bad shit, it's called fucking around and finding out. Fat Vinny says, this is methed up. You're absolutely right. It's Nathaniel. Actually, 2 Nathaniels right here. We haven't seen any Methanies yet.
Called morning band.
And we're back to this again.
What's your name, officer? What's your name and badge number? You gotta identify yourself at least. I'm just curious. I want to let the people know I'm streaming right now. Help me out.
Okay.
What's your name and badge
You're
number?
streaming right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good for you.
What's your badge number?
Good for you.
Yeah,
Good.
right now I'm not going away, man.
Good for you is like saying, what's the Southern term? They say, and she's sweet or whatever. Good for you. GFY. Good for you. Go F yourself. That's what that means, right? Good for you.
It's different times right now.
Yo, hey! Hey!
I didn't see what happened there.
Yo, hey!
All right. Yeah. The officers are trying to get order back. And here comes somebody to go. Now, you don't have the right. You don't have the right to do that. Here, watch this. This is great. Look at what they've got in front of the police car. They've obstructed the police car from doing whatever it's doing, right? Lights and sirens are on. They're blocking traffic. And let's see. Fuck around and find out moment. How does this end? It's funny, there's an American flag on that guy's back. Again, I don't care what they're protesting. I don't care who's protesting. I doubt that American flag guy is any sort of patriot. It's in New York, and this police officer is like, no, you are not going to stop me from traveling, right? Maybe he's one of those Bless your heart. That's right, Kim. That's exactly what it is. Bless your heart. You forgot the R, but yeah. Cop's like, you're not going to stop me from moving. He had his, what are those people called that think they don't need a driver's license or a registration for their car? The Scott Hofstetters of the world. Again, more riot police. Get your hands off of him. Are these New York? Yeah, they're New York, man. New York protesters are some of the finest. Oh, my eyes. I used my skateboard to attack somebody, and now I'm fucking around and finding out, and I'm crying about it.
Oh, hey, Tuck Tuck. Salt Lake City PD Rescue is just arriving here on the scene, also with a unit from West Valley.
This one sort of surprised me because it's actually a news broadcast, something you rarely got to see, because as the newscasters, well, the news teams that I ran into in LA were like, no, it's too dangerous. We're not gonna, we're gonna stand here and cover whatever comes to us. Sovereign citizens. Thank you, Scott. Half the time they didn't acknowledge who these people were that were. So one night, Hollywood protest. Antifa is meeting up in front of the Hollywood Forever Cemetery off Santa Monica Boulevard. And I showed up out there early to get a sense of what was going on. And I see this news van that's sitting out there as Antifa is starting to show up. And I talked to the news van driver. I think he was KTLA, one of those. They don't mark their vans. I'm like, hey, you know what's going on over here tonight? And he's like, some protest. I go, yeah, it's more than just a protest. They're getting ready to go out and, wreak havoc in Hollywood. And, there's a bunch of kids dressed in black. He goes, how do you know that? And I showed him the ads that they were running on social media to get people out there. And he kind of was like, oh. And he promptly moved his vehicle because he was right in the fucking middle of it, thinking that he was going to be welcome to this protest. Well, I did that protest from my vehicle because, one, they knew I was there. And two, there was already a camera on the street that night. And it was really interesting to watch how they moved around the city. And I was sitting in the parking lot. Talk. You want to say hi to everybody? Here. Let's say hi. Come here. Come on. What do you want? I intentionally allowed the door to open up on you. You gonna come up and say hi? You gonna say hi? No, he's not gonna say hi. All right. Anyway, intentionally watching this as they come down Gower, was it? Backside of Paramount, there's like this big wall because there's a Starbucks the other side of. There's Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles is right there. I've been gone from LA too long to remember names of streets. That's awful. But anyway, as they came through, they just tagged the shit out of that building and that wall, and they went through Hollywood, breaking windows and car windows and just being hoodlums. But I remember that news crew sitting in that parking lot watching all this happen, and the guy was like, "Wow, I've never seen this before." He says, "I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I was expecting." And I don't even. Oh, I do. I know what they were protesting. I can't tip my tongue. It was the guy they claimed died because he had an air freshener hanging from his mirror. But yeah, it was too much. Let's go back to this. More more video. So here, it's funny to see an actual news channel
this is just
catching
in the area
some
where
of this.
Vehicle has been burning.
Riot shields. They're telling these guys, get the fuck out of here.
Police officers,
old guys.
starting to move some of the crowd.
Everybody's in on it.
Man was just knocked off
I watched video of this 80-year-old man who's a Trump deranged TDS veteran of all people, which blows me away that he, has absorbed all of this nonsense and he's upset. And it reminds me of these old guys right here. They don't care how old you are. If you do not listen and leave the area when you're told to, they are going to clear you out.
They have to be very, very careful. We'll get out.
Hands up, don't shoot. Which was Michael Brown, who wasn't even... Let's go up and challenge the police, shall we? I think it'll be fun. I'm gonna go challenge the police and then hope that I don't get beat down. She's pushing on the cops with the bikes. Right? Leave the area. Control the situation. This vehicle is driven in. And look at how many officers come in to get this person out of the car. We don't even know what they're wanted for, but this is not normal. There's a reason why these police officers do this. And there's that many officers. I would love to know more about that story right there. Get out of here. Yeah. Maybe it's a good time to get out of there. You see the trouble like that? Oh, this was a journalist. Journalist. All right, I'm going. He's not clearly not moving. That was.
Get out of here! Get your boy out of here now! Get out of here!
I'm gonna take a stand against the police officers. Don't pepper spray me. Dude, these two.
Whoa! What the hell?
Maybe don't walk up on the cops when that's a bad time.
These are cops right here destroying everything! You're gonna take the materials of us trying to peacefully protest? You are aggressive!
Really? Is that what's going on?
You are aggressive!
Because once again, taking over public spaces
Get the fuck
is your
up!
favorite thing to do.
Get the fuck up!
Fuck around and find out, moment. That's a weird little outfit on that officer. Remember, they pull everybody that is an officer, technically an officer, for these duties. You're going to find, the officer who's been on desk duty. You're going to find if they can walk, they're putting them out there. They put everybody out there. The person who works in the person who works at the front desk, they're locking up the police station. They're taking everybody out. And that's what you see is some people that don't belong, like this guy right here. He's probably the parking enforcement, right? That's what this appears to be right here. And then the guy back here, he's probably the SWAT officer, right? Like, he knows what fucking around and finding out is all about.
Get the fuck up! Go!
All right. I heard something about Fry. Fry, why are you the man of the hour? What happened? I'm curious. I was listening to Tommy. You were live streaming last night. Something happened. What happened?
Whoa! Everybody move! Go! Everybody go! Come on, let's go! Move!
Come on, everybody, let's go!
Move! Go!
That didn't work the way it was supposed to. Again, big protest. Horses. She's challenging the police. He ran her ass over, though. I gotta admit, he ran her ass over. That little woman, she may not have even been seen, but that horse knocked her to the ground. Absolutely. Police brutality? Yeah, you shouldn't have fucking been there. If that's the standard we're gonna have, you shouldn't have been there. Remember, we now have to set the J6 principled standards to everything when we see it. That is the rule, the new rule, right? You get it? Are we posting a video about it ASAP? Okay, Fry TV. He finally had enough of broccoli and banned his ass. Well, congratulations, Fry. That's like banging your head against the refrigerator door over and over and over again. The only way to make it stop is to just hit the button and say goodbye. This is almost over. Let's see. If not, we've at least seen enough. You know, they all want to stand and argue with the cops. That's what starts all this. That was crowd dispersal right there. That was the drive-by fogging. That's how all of this starts to begin with. Is what I would argue all day long.
Well, I don't know. I'm bleeding from on the side of my eye. I'm bleeding on my arm. Cops just shot my window out, my passenger side window out.
I wonder why.
The glass shattered as I tried to quickly turn and get out of their way. The glass clearly nailed me right here. Right here. My name is Ryan Faircloth. I'm a reporter with the Star Tribune. Fun stuff, right, guys? Yeah. I was just trying to get out of the area.
I'm sure he tells the story straight.
Where do I go? I'm with WCCO.
When you see this coming, right? And remember, I've been shot with a 40 millimeter, less lethal. I took a round. I don't believe it was intentional. In fact, I know it wasn't intentional. But the simple fact is when you see this line going and you see the whites of their eyes, the police officers, and you know you need to move, you don't need to tell me. I'm not there to challenge them, right? I learned that quickly at the Lakers championships. Is that when they're marching towards you like that with their riot gear on, that's not the time. No, Lemonade Chick, it's not. When this is going on, it's not the time to beg for stuff, to ask for anything. Your goal is to listen and hear what's going on. And whatever choice you make is the choice you live with. And you can't be mad at them. That simple. If you want to get your shot, you may get shot with a less lethal. You may get knocked to the ground. That's just how it goes. It's not the time to try to plead your case. I'm a journalist. I'm this. I guarantee they know exactly who this guy is and what he does. We all know that these journalists, protest activists, tried to act like journalists to be able to stay out there and protest. So okay.
That's probably what this is. Okay. Joan, get over here.
He's someplace he's not supposed to be at all. And all there was to film was the police. Right? Because your goal as a propagandist is to film the police and no one else. Not the protesters, not just the police. And if that's what you're doing, you are not a journalist. And the cops know that, by the way. They need to watch Jackass if they're going to protest. Anything Jackass can teach them is how to laugh at getting hit. Good point, door knocker. Absolutely right. Absolutely.
Run your wrist. Put it down. The man with your hands on
There's nobody else around.
Okay. I'm not fighting.
No, you're not. No, you're not. They let them all go. Yes, Veronica, I am a bootlicker.
What are they doing?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you see that? What are they doing?
And you're an anonymous troll.
What the
Veronica,
fuck? They literally just slashed somebody's tires. They just...
the same way.
My live stream tuned out. Oh, there it goes.
The same thing for J6.
They literally just sliced somebody's tires.
Isn't that...
Oh my
and the
god.
cops were mild.
They just ruined their car.
They weren't mild to them.
They ruined that car.
They shot him in the fucking face with less lethal projectiles. Right? Same principle, same rule applies. You gotta treat everybody equally, right? The very thing that these protesters claimed was the cops started the violence. The cops were the violent ones. The cops were the violent ones. So if that's the case, then the cops were the violent ones at J6, because J6 protesters, they were out there to have a First Amendment right against, airing their grievances against their government. But then the police decided to shoot them for no reason with their rubber bullets, put holes in their faces, right? Shoot explosives over their head. But they deserved it, right? So I'm the bootlicker. Make up your fucking mind. You get it? You can't have it both ways. And I thank you for coming in here, Veronica. You're more than welcome to have your voice. But be honest, because I know you can't. Because I can show you this shit all day long. And it's the same thing. It doesn't matter which side it's on, whether they've got patriotic American flags on their back or they're dressed in black bloc with the sole purpose of going out and creating violence and trying to get away with it because they're unidentifiable. Again, Veronica, this is for you right here. We are in a new Los Angeles. Do not get arrested. Gascon lost. There are no free passes. Tuck Tuck. What do you want, Tuck Tuck? What do you want? I'm not paying attention to you, so you stay up there and say hi to everybody. Can you speak? Can you speak? Can you speak? Speak. 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 Give it to me. Speak. 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 No, he's gone. That's the cue, by the way. Speak. Oh, he's back. He's back. Don't make me close the door on you, buddy. So yeah. So there you go, Veronica. It's easy, Wizzy. If it's the last thing, then it's okay. Yes, that's their justification. They think they are right in what they're doing. Because, the evil conservatives, right? Self-me on traumatic episodes when you're not allowed to defend yourself, but then the entire end is not you in bondage with a narrative that's crazy stuff. Those lying minds take a breath. The bondage gear is funny. There were some in bondage gear. Some like to wear leather pants as their black block. It's literally in the name. I'll tell you in the name. Here. I forget what else. We got to get moving on. I've got to.
Hi, so this is Molly Hennessy-Fest for the LA Times.
I just wanted to
Molly
from the LA Times is going to tell you how awful everybody is.
I had my notebook in my hand
they tell the truth.
when I get hit, myself and the photographer.
Yeah. No video.
Let's go!
Oh, here. This is from Tim Walz's town.
Go inside now! Get in the house!
Get in the house. Some pepper balls will tell you.
Get in.
Go in your house. More protests. Was that the snack van? Who? That's funny. That just totally brought that back. Who remembers the snack van in Portland or Seattle, wherever that was? It got around. They even took the snack van, if I were right, to Kenosha. The snack van went to Kenosha. They must have driven fast and continuously to get there. Personal damages, the personal expenses, and so many families are broken, and so many are not living for what achievement?
I'm pressed.
Damn about that, yeah.
I am pressed. I don't care if
You're not pressed.
Hey, I'm down. I'm down.
They know who the fuck you are before they even come up to you like that. I just want you guys to understand that. I have been around enough of these cops and I've been in enough of these situations. By the time it gets to this point, they know exactly who the press is and who isn't. And they treat actual press different. And I'm not even actual press, but they know I'm not a protester. When you, and you guys, some of you may remember the famous, are you an activist or a protester speech, or pardon me, are you an activist or a journalist speech by LAPD public information officer during a protest downtown Los Angeles Capitol at City Hall, as the LAPD gave a guided tour to the press for an event. And that's when the infamous Vishal on stream was embarrassed. Because one, the cop called him out for being a protester. I called his ass out for being a protester, an activist. And the point that you can't do both. If you're going to be a journalist, you can't be an activist. Pick one. You do you. Be what you want to be. It was great. Maybe one day we'll have to revisit that. I don't like revisiting, but what do you guys think? I was thinking about putting up all of the old content under a member's paywall. Not much of a member's paywall. But I was thinking about putting that stuff up that way, just because I figured if the trolls want to have fun and do their thing, they'll have to pay for it. A lot of that stuff isn't up because I'm actually quite mad at YouTube in a way, right? That's more or less the reason. And then also, too, is it potentially is a problem because I can't go through all the hours. I know what I say. I don't know what everybody else says. And it's the things other people say in streams that have shut me down in the past. And that's why, my content's not up there. Because, the people who don't want us to have a voice want to have the opportunity to shut it down at whatever reason. So that's why it's not there. So.
Okay. Thank you.
It kind of showed his independent media card.
I'm pressed. Please.
He's holding up his press card. He's got a helmet. You don't really need the helmet. I can promise you that. He's going to sit here on the ground.
I was just sprayed in the face with pepper spray. Currently have my head on the ground.
By the way, if you were sprayed in the face with pepper spray, you would not be comfortably saying, I was just sprayed in the face with pepper spray and I'm laying on the ground. It doesn't feel good. Believe me, it's uncomfortable. Okay. And you would show signs. Get out.
Okay.
Get out. Let's guess. Blocking the street, police cars.
Fire on us! They've opened fire! They've opened fire!
We need a medic!
Wait.
Hold the fuck!
Let me translate for those in the back. And for, what was that person's name? They called me a bootlicker. For that person. The translation of what he's saying is, I didn't do as I was told by the police officers, and they are shooting me with rubber bullets, rubber shotgun beanbags, because I refused to clear the area because I've broken the law and I'm about to get arrested. That's what that means. For those in the back and need the translation.
Wait!
it doesn't just become this like that. It takes time. That's why this is all one big giant Rupar. This is all a giant Rupar. They want these moments to create division and push that narrative. I'm going to challenge the police officers to a fight. And then when I get my ass kicked, I'm going to yell, "No! I didn't mean it like that." Thank you, girl. Veronica. That's funny. Here's another one. This is
downtown Sacramento.
Oh, downtown Sac. That was close.
Damn, he just shot somebody right there on the floor. Fuck. Holy shit. That motherfucker just shot somebody, bro.
Don't shoot and kill people.
Shit. Be careful, be careful, be careful. You gotta be careful. Be careful, be
They're
careful.
shooting less lethal rounds. That's what that sound is.
Be careful, be careful, be careful.
Oh, look. Do the police officers use fireworks when they try to disperse a crowd? No. Only Dodgers fans. I got something stuck in my throat. Only Dodgers fans who are less fingers. Yeah, it's really tragic.
Fuck the police! Damn, they killed this motherfucker probably. Fuck the police, man. Fuck the police.
Yeah, it's not bootlicking. It's called balls and strikes.
They shot somebody in the fucking face.
Now watch, this is really interesting. So this is the helicopter. There's stuff on the windshield. There's a lot of officers. For whatever happened with this car, that's a lot of officers in one place dealing with that very quickly. Multiple people in the vehicle. The guy in the red comes up. He's gonna get pushed away. What are you doing in our investigation? Get the fuck out of here. They pulled one out of the passenger side. Now look at the person. Look at the person on the right side. That person is clearly doing what they're supposed to. They've got them standing. They're not on the ground. There's no reason to put them on the ground. They're going to handcuff them, whatever's going on. They were after the passenger. Notice all the officers on the left side, not on the right side of your screen. That's because they weren't after the driver. And the driver clearly is complying. So I'm curious again about this. I don't know what this is. But for some reason, this was included in that video. They want to, try to perpetuate, police brutality. But there's one party who protects criminals. He might have taken a little aggression out on that guy from. He's still yelling and screaming. That police officer definitely hit him while he was cuffed. That's a no-no. That's not cool. He spit in his face. What happened here? Like, you can see the cop in the bottom left side of the screen is clearly distraught. You gotta do something pretty bad to piss off cops. Home of blue. All right. Here's the question. How many of you are willing to challenge a wall of horses? And I know a lot of you in the chat actually have horses. Some of you in the chat have horses. Some of you are horse people. They got a hot tip and they were there. 2 dozen donuts in the car. That's what it is. Donuts make people happy. It's hot tub. We might have to go. You okay, buddy? You didn't just do what I think you did you? No, you're okay. Okay. Coughing up a hairball, buddy. No hairballs. Look. No hairballs. Yeah, I forgot where I was. Distraction.
Oh yeah,
the horses. Don't challenge the horses. It's nuts. And for what? They're like, I don't even know what they're out there for. Oh, those are some of the familiar chants we've heard. What reasonable people?
Trying to cover the news.
These people may as well be dressed up like these people. I was trying to get up here. Dressed up like these people to protest, which is equally as stupid as the people on the right side of your screen. And honestly, I don't even know that we're going to have time to talk about this nonsense because it's taken much longer to discuss and have this fun, but we'll leave this up here for just a little bit down in the corner, just for a moment, because I think it's important because they're protesters. Protesters are protesters. Home of the Blues. So this is in Nashville. Home of the Blues. I think that's where that sign is.
This gentleman right here grabbed the barricade,
this
and now
good.
you see they're reinforcing the barricade. We have not heard an audible anything from an authority here. The umbrellas are out. We're getting pushed back. Don't spray that shit. Don't spray it. Don't spray it.
We're just going to take our umbrellas out and challenge authority and then wonder why we're getting pushback for it.
The umbrellas are here. You see people put out the umbrellas to block the spray. Block the spray. It's rowdy right here. Hold on. Let me bring it down. Let's just try to de-escalate. Let's try to de-escalate this. Let's just try to bring this down, guys. It's a lot of worse shit than going to jail, like a flashbang, shrapnel, or something. Let's bring this down. Let's bring this shit down. So we see him grabbing an umbrella. There's the spray. It's on now. It's on.
Did you see why the spray came out?
Let's bring this shit down. So we see him grabbing an umbrella.
Yep.
There's the spray.
See?
There's the thing going to jail.
Watch
like
the
a flashbang, shrapnel, or something. Let's bring this down. Let's bring this shit down. So we see him grabbing an umbrella. There's the spray. There's the spray.
Tries
it's
not
on
to
now.
show you what's going on back there that caused that spray to
They're
come
losing
out.
control.
Because again,
state police are trying to open the back.
They know the cameras are all over them. The police have the ability, when they identify a threat, somebody who attacks them, they respond to that person. That's how that works. Sheila says, Nashville went to hell in a handbasket quick. So sad. Yeah, it is sad. Because Nashville is a really cool town. But maybe it'll change leadership. You know what I mean? Maybe you get some real leadership back in there. Because Nashville still had room for improvement. Remember, you can't point out the trash on the island without people claiming you're talking about the people on the island. Right? Nobody's talking about the people on the island. They're literally pointing out the trash problem. Everywhere has problems. I showed you the other day, here in town, some crackhead went and broke into all the parking meters. So now the people who drive and go places are getting tickets because they're not feeding their meter because the meters are destroyed. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm calling out the busted meters. That's all I'm calling out. Somebody destroyed them. We don't know who. The meters are broken. There's trash on the island they cannot get rid of. Let's get people in who can solve these problems and fix these things, because nobody needs to live like that. Nuts. Nuts. I will tell you this. You are wrong. You are definitely wrong. Elaine is Mrs. Christmas, huh? Would that not be Mrs. Claus? Right?
Barricade. They're putting the pepper spray in the air. Share this
Well, that
stream.
is interesting.
Share this stream. Tag and share
one
this
of the
stream.
27
Share
red
this stream.
governors?
This, God damn it, they got me, you motherfuckers.
They got me.
I'm gonna eat this shit
got me. I'm more elated by that. Look at all the weapons they've got. They've got the weapons. They've got all the stuff. See, there's multiple pause screens.
I got sprayed, but shit, I've been through worse. Barricade is up. Barricade is up. The officers are coming with the spray.
He loves a good riot porn. He loves good riot porn. Creating riot porn. That's what he's enjoying.
Get the
right
fuck out my way. Let's see here. This is what's going on. I only got one eye. These are flashbangs. This is flashbangs.
Yeah.
They're deploying
Get the fuck
Hey,
out
bring
of here,
this shit
bangs.
down. Bring it down. Bring it down.
Look at this asshole
Bring it
in the
down.
purple.
Bring it down. This
Well,
is
you could
share
just
this
leave
stream.
and you wouldn't have to
God
worry
damn
about
it.
bringing it down, right?
It's the tear gas. It's the fucking tear gas.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt. He's about to get a lung full of it.
Stop.
Go
Holy
away.
shit.
Leave.
Tear gas
That's all
is
it
everywhere.
takes. Leave the area.
Holy shit. Oh, shit.
Apparently he's the only one that doesn't have like, oh no, she didn't have a mask on either. This needs to change, says Troll Central, who created this video. I'm sorry. This is legitism. A few bad apples spoil the bunch. Compiled and edited together by Legitism. That's probably the video source there. Troll Central just played it. That was it. All right, question of the day. Can anybody tell me how old Priscilla Presley was? And don't start Googling this shit, because I'll Google it for you. How old was Priscilla Presley when she married Elvis Presley? Anybody know? Gra. This is your time frame. How old was Priscilla Presley when she married Elvis Presley? See, it always goes extra big. We don't want it big. We just want it. Look at these fools. We just want it big enough. Otis, you are wrong. She was not 15 when they got married. Digger says 14. Guess what? Not 14 either. Not 14 either. There it goes. Not 14. Not 15. Not 16. 4575 is not much closer. MJ says, I think she met him at 14 and married at 18. You're half right. You are half right, MJ. She was 14, he was 24 when they met. And then they got married when she was 21. So that is why I keep showing this. It disappeared again. This picture, right? Is because they're protesting Scientology over what they call child brides. So I was like, man, I was a Scientologist for a short period of time in my life. I've been around these people. I read people pretty good. I've never seen anything or heard anything like this until this claim is made here. So I was like, you know what? Let's do a little research. So I went to the old, Googles, and I typed in Scientology, child brides. And let's see what happens here. Scientology, for 1 month. Okay. Oh, you can't see it. It's up there. It's up there. It's off the screen. Anyway, child brides. Let's see what it says here. So here we are. Wikipedia, Scientology marriage. We're not going to start there because, frankly, I don't think that Wikipedia is the best place to start. Then I found this website, Cohen Milstein. They are some sort of law firm. And there's Reuters and Factbox. What is Scientology wedding? So these articles all ended up sort of being similar, the same. Official Church of Scientology. Start here. How does Scientology view marriage and the family? Now, this is important context because this is their belief, their claim, and we're going to talk about, some of these other claims by these people. Scientology regards the family as the building block of any society, and marriage as an essential component of a stable family life. It seems pretty coherent and normal, and people often find that they are, after they begin practicing Scientology, their relationship with spouses and other family members strengthen dramatically. That's a claim. This is because Scientology teaches an individual to communicate more freely with others. I've heard that claim before. I can acknowledge that claim. Some would say I, am here because I did a little Scientology audit and it helped me to be in front of the camera and talk to you, right? Whatever. It's a claim I could make. I'm not going to. Scientology were freely raised passé to love and put one in better communication with family and friends. Seems fair? Okay. Surveys have found that after participating in the Scientology service, individuals are more likely to marry or stay married and to have children than before they became Scientologists. All right. Learn more. Read Marriage from Scientology Handbook. Interesting. Okay. So let's go back here, right? Because we go back, the protesters have made a lot of claims. They make a lot of claims. Clearly, Scientology states that they believe in family and all of that. Children. Here's the knot. The knot's kind of interesting because the knot has the same 2007, I think it was, Tom Cruise married Katie Holmes. About Scientologists. So a lot of these articles come up the same way. This Milstein article talks about human trafficking and forced labor. Not about the claim of child marriages. All right. And so that is something completely different, which we won't get into tonight. But the person in this lawsuit. Actually, not that one. Here, go back here to the knot. The one article I read about a lawsuit claims that it's the same person who's apparently had 2 arranged marriages through the Church of Scientology, but then also was part of the Danny Masterson trial. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So the knot talks about Scientology weddings. While I was in Scientology, I got married. I did not have a Scientology wedding. Interesting fact. So just because you're in Scientology doesn't mean you have to have a Scientology wedding. So, yep, Scientology weddings are just as out there as you'd expect them to be, claims this article by the knot, right? So I'll read a little bit. We're up until 2 a.m. researching Scientology weddings because of HBO's unbelievable Scientology documentary, Going Clear. Here's what we found. So obviously, again, this is brought on by Katie and Tom and their wedding, right? Did you watch Going Clear, the Scientology documentary, with your mouth open and utter? Okay, so it goes on. Let's get to the real part. We looked into outspoken activist A-lister Cruz's wedding to Katie Holmes, a highly publicized affair with a Scientology minister in Italy 9 years ago. So this article was written in 2024, I think it's February, I saw, by Rachel Torgensen. Rachel Torgensen is a New York-based journalist and social media professional. Rachel is a senior fashion editor for Cosmopolitan. Of course she is. And Rachel worked for The Knot as an assistant editor and editorial assistant. She's a bridal fashion expert. So she also clearly knows about religion and all these other things. But she finds, these two weird. They look awful, don't they? Katie was great to work with, by the way. She was really cool. Never worked with Tom. So we present to you 13 of the most incredibly fascinating Scientology wedding facts. Full disclosure. In case you haven't already guessed, this article was not formally vetted through any Scientology representatives. Let me tell you, I know that. I know that. But they also tell you some really telling things as well. There are 5 different types of Scientology ceremonies. I didn't even know there were 5 different types of Scientology ceremonies. So they claim they're called traditional, informal, single ring, double ring, and concise double ring. Okay, great. Scientology isn't a recognized religion in all countries. Okay, Scientology wants, if a Scientologist wants a destination wedding, they have to do some research before not every country will recognize the ceremony. In fact, Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes had just gotten married in the U.S. before their Italian destination wedding. Now, I don't know a whole lot about weddings, but if I remember correctly, as in most weddings, including in Las Vegas, for you to go to like Las Vegas and go to the little chapel of horrors and all kinds of awful futures, you have to go to the city hall and get a wedding license. And then you take that wedding license and you get married, right? California, you do the same thing. You go to city hall, you get your wedding license, and then that's really what marries you. The officiant, they sort of do that as well. They finalize that paperwork. But really, it's about the paperwork that you get. So why does it matter where you get married if you're filing in the place where you live for the wedding to be legal to begin with, right? So this person brings that up. And I don't know that any of this matters. In fact, Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes had to get married in the U.S. first. Oh, there you go. Before their Italian destination wedding. Correct, because they live in the United States. They live California, wherever they were living at the time. The same goes for John Travolta and Kelly Preston's wedding in France. Never matters who marries you. Am I correct? Let me get back down here in the chat. Lisa Marie was a hottie, and from what I've heard from Leslie Nielsen, she had a nice beaver. That was classic. Classic airplane right there. The chat's off the hook. That's great. So I don't know how legitimate this pearl clutching on number 2 is. Brides wear white dresses. How awful. How many brides wear white dresses? Scientology is so bizarre, right? And the couple can have attendants like bridesmaids. Well, yeah, they're not weird. Groomsmen and even flower girls and ring bearers. You can have whatever you want to, right? Yep, nothing different here. The bridesmaids' dresses, anyway. They may be attended by bridesmaids. Flower. The music is a matter of individual choice. Okay, so basically what she's saying is Scientology weddings aren't that weird. We'll get to the point where you sort of understand it. The ceremony is commonly followed by a celebration like a reception. What the fucking weirdos, man. These Scientologists, they are bizarre people. How, like, a celebration? You get what I'm saying. According to the Reverend, quote, our view of marriage and the family is a traditional view. Fair enough. So the wedding ceremony is traditional. Noted. Excellent. We don't have to convert to Scientology. You don't have to convert to Scientology in order to marry. Okay, there you go. Christianity, you've got to be Catholic, whatever, to get married in the Catholic Church. I remember my dad tried to get my sister married in the Catholic Church, and we weren't good enough Catholics to get married in the Catholic Church. He was really pissed. So he tried to buy his way in, apparently, and they wouldn't even... I guess that happens a lot. I don't know. He really liked the old Detroit church, but it wasn't easy to do. Anyway, that was many years ago. There's even evidence that suggests that Cruz's wedding to Holmes, where, according to reports at the time, some Roman Catholic blessings were read in respect to Holmes' parents. Whoa, that's weird. Oh my God. Church weddings are ceremonies. The legality of a marriage is the state license. Exactly. Thank you very much, Dedant. Well put. Anyway, so we're still looking for the weirdness in the Scientology wedding. Questions get really personal once you're married. Questions? It says, I guess you can't see it with me sort of doing that. And now I'm looking the wrong way. That sucks. That sucks. Let me see if I can fix that. I want you to be able to see what's going on. So I'll bring this down further. Question 6. Questions get really personal once you're married. Scientologists go through a process called auditing. We've heard about auditing. We know it's this process regularly. I guess regularly is depending on how often you're willing to pay for auditing and sessions per hour, just like going to see a psychologist. A shrink charges by the hour, in which an auditor and interviewer, as they said, asks a series of personal questions to each person while they hold onto a device called an e-meter that's supposed to measure their thoughts. Now, I don't know why they're tying this to the wedding thing and the way it's to each person while, so I guess they're just trying to make it seem or make it understood that this is an individual thing, not a group auditing. There's no such thing as, not with the cans. With the cans, it's one-on-one. It's the auditor and the thetan, right? Once you're married, the questions get more personal and have to do with thoughts of divorce, infidelity, and negative images of your spouse. Okay. It seems like auditing has now, when you have a problem, questioning, asking you about your life. Your life is now married. Those questions are going to change. Hey, Bob, I heard you got married. Yeah, Dave, I did. It's great. You know, she's a, you know, perfect, whatever, you know, like those kind of questions, right? More specifically. And here's where they kind of point out some interesting tidbits, because it's important to understand. You'll see it down here in 7, 2D. What is the 2D? And you'll hear Scientologists as they communicate with each other. How's your 2D? Your 2D is your partner, your husband, your wife, whatever, you know. Well, it's husband or wife. So the question is more personal. The religion founder came up with some of these questions and disseminated them in a memo in 1962. Some include, have you ever used sex as punishment? So what does that mean? Have you ever used sex, like literally any of you who are married, have you withheld sex from your partner because you were pissed off at them for something that they did? Right? That's the question. You'll understand why that's important here in a second. Have you ever felt you were too good for your spouse? You know, what does that mean? Like, you know, do you have times where, you know, maybe this is a question for a wife who has a job and is doing really well and maybe making more money than her husband and is having a problem in the relationship where they're not quite getting along. Their ARC is broken. Their affinity, reality, and communication is broken. And that could be a question. Absolutely. You think a shrink wouldn't ask you that question? So how's your relationship with your husband? I hear you have a new job, or you've just told me you have this new job that pays really well. Is your husband feeling that? Like, I don't know how that goes, but that's, you know, something like that, right? Does that make sense? But how dare they ask those questions? And by the way, you're not asked these questions out of the blue. You have gone in for some sort of service that includes auditing as part of that. So it's highly likely that if you're having some sort of trouble in your relationship with your spouse, that you go into audit and figure out what that is, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to self-improve. You're trying to self-improve. And so in order to figure out what's going on with you, you have to sort of have this rundown of questions to see if it draws out to figure out what it is that may be causing, you know, this upset, this problem, whatever it is that you've gone in for. So that's not forced on you. That's your choice to go in there and get these questions, right? And so here's some more. Have you ever felt too good for your spouse? The answer to these questions are recorded by your auditor, correct? They are recorded by the auditor, and can allegedly, they love to use the word allegedly, be used against you later if you defect from the church, they claim. The wedding consultant, that's their claim. I have never seen that happen. And that would be extremely illegal to do that, just so we know and we're clear. The privacy of those auditing sessions is everything. So if they were using that, one, it would get out. It would destroy the church and destroy everything it's about. They'd lose credibility. Understood, right? So nobody would be anything a part of and all this, including Tom Cruise. Because I guarantee Tom Cruise, these big celebrities, you're not going to yank their chain. They're going to shut you down. But like I said, I have not had that happen to me. But that's the purpose of, you know, they say that the cameras in there are used. No, the cameras are there because the person who's auditing you, if there's a problem, that then head auditors, the supervisor can go back in and review. And there's a process for those reviews as well, right? And so they go in and review to see if there was an error made, something was not picked up or missed, right? It's a way of checking. It's a checks and balance systems for the process of auditing. It's complex. It is its thing. But, you know, maybe if you're not fully comfortable, you just don't say things that you don't want people to know. Do you tell your shrink everything? You probably should if you want help and you want to get healed, but it's not a Christian religion. No, Terry Lynn, it is not a Christian religion. Christians can be and are part of Scientology. Scientology on its own is what they call themselves is a religion. The religion, they wanted the status, so therefore they are a church, is their belief. So yeah, it's not Catholic, it's not Buddhist, it's not, you know, it's if you want to praise Allah, you can praise Allah. You can be a part of another religion and still also be in Scientology, they claim. So, do they have sex cheerleaders watching them too? No, Rat's ass. I don't believe they do. I never had a sex cheerleader. But I've not heard of that either. But that's interesting that you bring that up. Like, is that your own idea or did you get that from somewhere else? So here's the second dynamic. Once you're married, Scientology teaches you that you will enter into the second dynamic, or 2D. So this claims are really interesting. The second dynamic refers to marriage, sex, and procreation. Okay, fair. Scientology teaches that you are 8 dynamics in life. In order: the self, how to survive as an individual; creativity, everything having to do with creating the family unit, including sex and marriage, right? It's actually more than that, creativity. Group survival, that's the, you know, that's, it's much broader. Species of mankind, humankind as a whole, life forms, including animals and vegetation, the physical universe, matter, energy, space, and time. What they call MEST, M-E-S-T, the physical universe. This cup is matter, right? It is a thing, right? It's your MEST. My MEST is fucking out of control back here. I don't know if you can see that. But my MEST needs some help. You need to spend some time in your MEST and work on your MEST. It gives you ARC with the things surrounding you. Tucker, MEST, part of my 2D world, if that's what we're going to do. You got to take care of your dogs. You got to take care of your animals. You got to take care of your space. You got to take care of your vehicle that gets you to work, right? It's all part of this dynamic, the dynamics they talk about, right? The spiritual and the infinity, which can only be reached after you leave your earthly body. Yeah, Scientology believes that you leave your body, your spirit leaves your body in a way, and then it comes in another body. And they think, you know, they're waiting for L. Ron Hubbard to return. That's why we have offices ready for him to go. And which is also funny because they have the same exact thing at Disney for Walt Disney in case he decides to ever come back. Maybe. I got a kick out of that. But, post-wedding to-dos. Scientologists don't condone sex before marriage. Where have I heard that before? That seems awful healthy or, you know, moral. You do what you want, but I think it might be time for dinner. There's an elite group within Scientology. They're not that elite. They are the Sea Org. They are the priests and the nuns for Scientology, if you want to call it that, that are held to strict moral standards. Yes, they have rules, just like going into the military, whatnot. You have a code of conduct, right? They have a code of conduct, which includes no sex or suggestive touching before marriage. Do you want to join the Sea Org? These are the rules, right? The Sea Org is an elite group and therefore have very high and optimal ethical standards, said Hubbard, one of his memos from 1978. 1978 was also a very different time than 2024. I'm sure those morals might be just a wee bit different now. And 1978, this stuff is older than that. But all the same, like many religions, dissolving divorce is frowned upon unless the Church of Scientology makes the decision that your spouse is suppressive. Oh, see, here's more. Well, we can't look at L. Ron Hubbard for clarity on the matter since he was reportedly married 3 times, and one of these marriages happened while he was actually married to someone else. Well, that's polygamy. Is that legal? I don't think he was up in Utah. I don't know if that's true or not. I honestly don't. It quite possibly could have been. I don't know that we went that far, which is interesting because when I looked up child marriage, I did find the article, and we'll get over there here in a second. Same time, I think that was mostly Scientology ceremonies don't sugarcoat the future. Scientology, they talk about ARC someplace here. Scientology ceremonies include reference to a wife's beauty fading, sickness, and other marital problems. Sickness, health, the whole nonsense, right? I point is, I don't see what any of this has to do with how weird the Scientology, because it sounds just like a Catholic wedding. But they do, in Going Clear, the Oscar-winning producer Paul Haggis says that one of the major reasons he left the Church of Scientology was because 2 of his daughters are gay. Scientologists were highly involved in California's Prop 8 bill, the one that shut down the right to same-sex couples to marry. Again, this goes back up to the top where, procreation and all of that, Scientology for sickness, health, we do strictly in the context of being able to do something about these marital issues that people face, right? Reverend Carmichael's told Times, Scientology has workable solutions to life's problems. It is designed with tools people can use to help themselves and others. By the way, you can find some of these tools on the church's website where you are shown information on marriage solutions, a dramatic video, and courses that offer help for free. The double ring ceremony following a seemingly traditional vow exchange. Okay. Here, this was the ARC triangle. The double ring ceremony, the only ceremony the church outlines on its official website, follows the traditional call and response marriage vows of any typical Western wedding. You'll receive phrases that are close to, quote, in sickness and in health, and until death do us part. But the biggest difference between typical weddings and Scientology weddings is this core belief of the ARC triangle. The ARC triangle is actually not that crazy. It's affinity, reality, and communication, right? Do you communicate with people, right? When you meet someone and you shake their hand, you look them in the eye, you shake their hand, you get reality, that touching, the affinity, and you say, hey, how are you? You're building a relationship. You're building that moment that if you walk up to somebody and you don't look them in the eye, you go, hey, how you doing? You're not in the same place. You're not in the same affinity. Your realities are off. You've not connected with that person and you're not communicating with them. that's the easiest way I can explain what ARC is. No matter what you call it, when you meet somebody, when you meet people, when you're in relationships, when you're family, you have good ARC with the people that you love, right? You might have good ARC with your neighbor across the street because you have a connection with them. You might go fishing, you might hang out, you may, I don't know, share meals together, right? You create ARC, and that's what this is talking about. 3 things that Scientologists deem very important. Of course, they're very important. If you don't have communication with people, how can you be good friends? How can you be in relationships? How can you know what I mean? That's what this is. But for some reason, this woman seems to be poo-pooing on the idea of these. Like, one, she doesn't really understand or know what it means, right? But I guarantee if she's a decent person, it's something she does without really understanding or knowing what she's doing. During the ring exchange, the minister holds up the 2 wedding rings between his thumb and forefinger, creating a triangle overlapping. Right? I guess ring and forefinger overlapping. Ring and forefinger over. I don't know. I don't know what that is, but is that like, what is, it's just a triangle. It's, you know, Tucker, your nails are so, what was I going to say? The triangle. That's what it was. The good, cheap, fast triangle, right? You get to pick 2. You can't have, if you want it good and fast, it's not going to be cheap. If you want it fast and cheap, it's not going to be good, right? It's the triangle. Well, with ARC, you need all 3. You can't have 2 of the 3. You got to have all 3, right? And that's a good thing for anybody. As a life lesson, if you want to have good relationships with people, you need good communication. You need, affinity. You need the same reality, right? You can't lie to each other. If you're lying to each other, but you have affinity for each other and you have communication with each other, because lying is a form of communication, but you don't live in the same reality, you see things very different, you need to fix that, because that's when things really fall apart. And that's what they go on to talk about here. For reading pleasure, how full vow exchange, you can go read that on the double rings. It sounds just like a Christian wedding, right? But they use more sort of Scientology concepts and terms that get back to the ARC triangle. Same thing. 13, the traditional Scientology wedding ceremony is rooted in ancient gender norms from that's when dude grew up. Of course it is. Right? It's not modern day. It's not woke. It's not, they believe that if you're not procreating, it goes against their values, right? So how could you support, same-sex marriage if the purpose is to procreate? So that's why they can't support, and, that's their belief. That's their religion. It's a lot of Catholics. It's a lot of Islam. It's, the whole purpose is to make more of you. Telescope never complains about size at the glory hole. Oh, that's weird, Kurt. That's weird. Is Telescope here? Is he saying something interesting? No. So then here, we're going back to the search, because this is where it really starts to get interesting. They talk about marriage. So let's see here. This article right here. Oh, shit, I can never get it over there all the way. Oh, damn it. Don't do that. Actually, I should have left that up because it would help me. It's a long move. Here it comes. Here it comes. Okay. So this was, well, one, I showed you the picture of the protesters, right? They're out doing their thing. They've got this protest going on downtown LA, and Serge, who's wearing the pink chiffon, is it? I don't know my fabrics that well. It's that fishnet or the netting. Is it chiffon or is it taffeta? What is What's the difference between taffeta and chiffon? I'm not looking it up on Google. Anyway, he writes, he's out there. They're out there in wedding gowns, and then Scott right here with his back to the camera. They got all their cameras rolling, and they're being weird as fuck out there. And they're talking about child marriage. So I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole, which is where we're headed right now. But Serge 2 weeks ago, and he edited this because he was talking about this on his live stream, is talking about, come on, why won't it let me put that down there any further? Priscilla Presley, child bride, and Scientology's grooming of minors to marry grown adults. So he's making this claim that Priscilla Presley, at just 14 years old, Priscilla was thrust into a world far beyond her years with Elvis, a much older and powerful figure dictating the course of her life. Now, many of you said, they were 14, 15 years old. He got married. She was young. Well, it turns out she wasn't, because let me just pop that out real quick. When you go down here to Priscilla and Elvis, I had this all on my phone. Wedding. Let's see. To the age, I guess I forget what I put in there. So AI generated says Elvis Presley, 32 years old. Priscilla was 21 when they married on May 1st, 1967. In the biography website, inside Elvis and Priscilla's relationship and marriage, he was 32. And she was 3 weeks away from her 22nd birthday when they got married. Did you know that in California, I did that back here. Scientology child brides. I think we got to keep going here to get to this article. Brush and Palette, child marriages, one of California's darkest secrets. I was fascinated. I was like, what is this? This is interesting. California is one of the most, and this was posted by Emma Peterson, photographer, February 29th of 2024. So this is a relatively new article. Did you guys know that child marriage is legal in the state of California? How many of you knew that? Because I was today years old when I learned this. I had no idea. Otis says, I've never heard of taffeta. Is that Cajun? Taffeta. I don't know. I don't know what that is. Seriously, I don't know. I don't know if it's the type of material or a style. I'm not a fashion person. Look at me. I'm not a fashion person. Guys, it's 6:30. IBHnews.com. I wonder if I can add this to the, I don't know. Maybe I can. I could. I don't know that well. You guys can find it. Just search. The search was Scientology child brides. Right? Because that was the claim that was made by the protesters. But I don't know that I can read all of this article to you guys. I don't want to break any terms of service with this. But what they're saying in this article is that it's obviously illegal and wrong for a person under the age of 18 to engage in sexual with an adult, right? But they're saying in this article, the claim is that there's no age of consent for marriage in California, which I find really, really troubling and surprising. Because I would think of all the states, why California says no. If you're not 18, you're not getting married. But apparently, you can get married at 18, at any age. There's no law of how. However, it does say here you have to be 18 to get divorced, but there is no age minimum for marriage. In 2021, there were just under 8,000 child marriages solely in the state of California. And then it goes on to talk about how those are organized in him. The UN has called child marriages human rights violations. I would call it that too. The United States has gone around accusing numerous other countries of human rights criminals. I would say they miss being human rights criminals. However, this is terribly hypocritical since over 46 states allow marriage between the ages of 16 and 18 with parental consent in the United States, and 15 states allow children under the age of 16 to get married. That blows me away. I had no idea. Right, Cricket Day? It is absolutely disturbing. Right? But you know what? You know who doesn't mention this? Is these protesters out there. Because their claim is it's Scientology and it's Elvis and whatnot. Now remember, Elvis was 1960s, people got married. My aunt and uncle, they were both roughly about the same age, but they got married at a very young age, had lots of kids, and lived a great life. And my uncle was the greatest spoons player I've ever met. He could play the spoons better than anybody, except for maybe Spoon Man. Spoon Man was pretty good, I got to admit too. But he was my spoon man growing up, and they owned a bar, and they were awesome, and they were great grandparents by the time they both passed away. They married very young. They lived great lives. They argued and hooting and hollering and, life, right? People went through life, but they started at a younger age back then. We don't marry that young anymore. Everybody wants to try it out and take it around the block a few times. So, it's a different time. So you gotta consider that perspective, especially if we're going to attack, Elvis. But so I don't know. I've never heard of these child marriages, and who am I to decide if two young people want to get married? Now, if you're an old dude and you're getting married to a young girl, I have a real problem with that. Absolutely have a real problem with that. Me, I haven't seen that happening. Back in the 60s, girls quit school and got married at 16. It happened a lot. Yes, Otis. Yeah. Girls were homemakers. They stayed home, and then, feminism hit, and they all went to work, and they, started voting and all kinds of things, right? Times change. That's what should happen. Our lives should get better. Times should change. We should learn and grow. Rat Sass is also a Google Niner. Okay, Ninja. I Googled DuckDuckGo. It said, see Duck Commander. Boy. Sounds like somebody else I recognize. Why is that? Why do some of you chatters sound like other people? This whole child bride stunt is because Wackadoodle was married at 19. By the way, an adult. Yes. Who did she marry? Oh, that was the interesting. Well, that was the interesting thing about that article, and I did point that out, is that, you know, their claim is with Scientology is you. I was listening to Scott Adams the other day, and he's talking about the fact that when you're in extreme situations with people, that it pulls you closer. He talked about taking a date to see a scary movie, because when you share that scary movie together, and you're it's like it brings you together. It's a good date thing to do, because, you know, you can. He says you can make a woman fall in love with you, taking her to a horror film, because you're sharing that experience. He also said that men that go to war together become best buddies, and because they have this shared experience, right? The shared experience, the idea of the shared experience builds relationships. ARC is sort of a variation to that shared experience, whether Christy, I can't disagree with you. I would prefer that we don't attack her. There is enough that she does and says that is wackadoo. And I don't take away, but she literally would not have a conversation about it. And for me, attacking people is really tough, right? It's like when you attack people and beliefs, because I know a lot of really good people who have raised incredible families and their kids are doing amazing, and they're incredible human beings through Scientology. I can't be mad at that. Are there going to be a bad Scientologist here and there? Fuck yeah. 20% of everything tends to be bad. Whether it's, you know, your police and fire, your judges, your doctors, your dentists, you know, 20% of the entire group will be bad. How does that happen? I don't know. I would venture to say that less than 20% of the Scientologists are bad. But the badness gets weeded out by the 80% that are good. You see there where that, you know, that ratio doesn't allow the bad to exist once it gets found. You've got too many good people, you know, within all of these things. Unless, you know, the ratio goes the opposite direction. But then, you know, it's the idea that if you have more than two people, you can't really have a, what's the word I'm looking for? Because too many people know somebody's going to talk, right? When she's sober, she's actually articulates and has good points. Christy, she is a Scientologist, a long-time Scientologist. The smartest of the protesters, the people who speak out against Scientology, are all very articulate. They also all use Scientology in their live streams. And most of them that I've seen in the SPTV community are also part of another community, which is very much not inside the moral values of Scientology. So the minute you choose that community, you really do not have a choice but to be out of Scientology, because, you know, Scientology will try to help you mentally remove that thing that goes against Scientology in the ideas of, well, it's way more complex than that. But yeah, it is an interesting fact about the anti-Scientologists. And then the sort of dumb ones, they're all called never-ins. And they are just repeating what Laura, Serge, Delmar, Nora, are all telling them, right? But they repeat it without really understanding what it is that they're repeating. So it gets slightly wrong, and then it gets re-repeated more wrong. And that's the thing. Is like they don't really know what the truth is, so they cannot actually define and discuss. So that's where I have, been pointing out sort of the inaccuracies of what these never-ends have been saying. Because one, it's just wrong. It's inappropriate. You don't, make these claims. And then two, there are plenty of things that you could absolutely go, okay, I disagree with this and what the church does. I could do the same thing with Islam. I could do the same thing with every religion, right? You can find things that you disagree with that you do not like, right? They have the right to religion. It's none of my business. I don't care. It's not my thing. So that's my point. That's what I'm pointing out. But y'all listen, this has been great fun. We didn't really get time for question and answers. We answered some of the trolls. No. Nuts. You are so... You're making that stuff up. July was a hot month. Yeah, it was. Today was a hot day. Holy cow. Yeah. Interesting. Absolutely interesting. Did they kick Lara out or did she quit? I don't know. What I've put together piecewise from the things that she said, her father is still in. She's technically a suppressive person because she doesn't want her father to be in, which means that, for him to deal with her, is to either leave or he lives his life the way he wants to and has ignored her and her, rage-fueled rants outside the church. So it's hard to say. I don't know if she was kicked out or if she left. I feel like I've heard her talk about this, but I don't have all the details. That may have been the kicking and screaming and dragging her by her hair for 3 miles, according to Scott, which isn't a bullshit artist. Of course he is. So I don't know, I'd love to actually have that conversation with her because, as you know, I left Scientology, never looked back. And yeah, I still get the phone calls. They try to call, you just hit block, you just, whatever. You get the emails. I don't get mail anymore. I stopped getting the mail. If they ever find me, maybe I'll start getting mail again. I'm sure they're looking. Their goal is to keep you in. And they're not shy about saying that either. That's their goal. They want you in. So... he doesn't. He's made that clear. I want to say we saw her on live stream yelling at her dad or yelling for her dad, saying, "That's my dad over there. That's my dad over there." She's yelling, "Dad, dad, dad." And he knows she's there. He doesn't want anything to do with her. He enjoys Scientology. He likes Scientology, obviously. And he's at a place where you can just walk out the front door if you don't want to be in Scientology. You can just walk out the front door and she would be there with open arms, except for he doesn't want to leave Scientology. He likes Scientology. That's what I'm seeing. Wizzy chest-fed telescope during the convoy between live streams. I know you asked me that question earlier. He's not here to defend himself. Let's not. We'll see. All right. I smell dinner. I know it's that time, and it's 6:40 here on the East Coast. Gee, you should have come in earlier. We were having wonderful conversations. Maybe you can go back and watch the live stream and put some comments in, and we'll have to answer those on the replay. You know what I mean, girl? It was a really fun and exciting view of some of our favorite people, Whistle Girl and Mina and Anarchy Princess. It was just a hollering good time. And well, Trump is our president, and yeah, so. Of course. Telly is a special little unit, Vaughn says. Yes, he is. That sun hat and the one piece swimsuit was just something, I gotta say. I know. Enjoy it. You go back and watch it on slow motion, G. It's all good. All right. I'm going to have dinner. Wizzy out. See you guys.